Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny!
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick FMK. As always, I am your host, Jay. And as always, I am joined once again by the delicious co-host, Gentleman Jack. Hold on one second while we take us a sip. Well, family, we have reached that time of the week again where we all get to gather around and shoot the shit about a horror movie. This is that time of the show where I want to give you a second, run off to the kitchen, make your favorite drink, then come on back. Now, if you're listening to this and you've heard it, you should already know by now to have your drink made and ready to listen to this, because I tell people all the time, this show goes better with alcohol. I go better with alcohol, so I highly recommend it. But welcome back. Like I said, it is, if you're listening to this, it is Friday. You've made it through another fucking week. So, be fucking happy. You got to see another day. So, this week, I got us a doozy. I'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to say thank you to anybody who have stopped by and listened to this shit show, who have commented or anything, left reviews. I appreciate it. Trust me, I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know that this show, the way we do things here, isn't everybody's thing, and that's fine. I'm not here to please the masses. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who listens to us and takes an hour or so out of your day to put up with me. So I appreciate it. If real quick, I don't normally spend a lot of time on housekeeping shit. It's just not my thing. But on this one, I'm gonna take a minute. But as you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see the website above you. If not, if you're listening on just the podcast, it's in the description. FrightFlickFMKPodcast.com. You can go there. Everything's there on the website. All the episodes get uploaded there. The link to the store is there. The link to the support. And when I say support, we do have a Patreon. It's nothing fancy. It is $5 a month is all it is. I'm not in this business, in this podcasting thing to get rich and make a living off of it. This isn't something I have to do to pay the bills. This is just something I enjoy doing. So the Patreon is $5 a month. And one thing that we're about to start on the Patreon, starting next month. So if you're listening to this, we are about to, I'm looking at my watch so I can know what the fucking date is. We're close to March 1st. But what I want to do is a couple times a month, I'm going to be uploading Patreon only episodes. These episodes will not get uploaded into the regular podcasting platforms. They will only go up in the Patreon. So once they go up into the Patreon, they will be deleted forever, gone. Like I said, you only be able to listen to them in the Patreon. I'm not going to upload them eventually into the regular type shit. My Patreon family, they spend their hard-earned money, $5 a month, and I appreciate it. They deserve a little something extra. They deserve a little something everybody else out there ain't getting. And ain't's a word that's in the dictionary. Ain't getting. It's my southern coming out in me. But so a couple times a month, I plan on uploading Patreon only. So if you want to hear those episodes, if you want to be able to get into the Discord is just now, it's a baby. It's nothing fancy. I want to eventually get it to where the Discord is something that, we have watch alongs type thing. Apparently you can do that shit. I don't know. I'm not tech smart. I'll have to figure it out, but I think there's a way to have like watch along movies and shit like that and have discussions. So I plan on doing that. So there will be a few perks coming with the Patreon. You also get the episodes early. They go up on regular podcasting every Friday, the weekly ones. But with the Patreons, they usually get it a day or two early. So you will get bonus episodes, $5 a month, people. But for the ones who are in there, the Patreon, the Fright Flick family, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. But yeah, go check out the website. Go check us out on social media. I don't do I'm on there. I'm not up there, just dropping, fancy shit all the time. It's just a lot of times just me just posting bullshit memes or whatever, posting about the upcoming episodes. But we're on there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, reach over there and click the like and subscribe button. That way you get notified. You know when the shit show goes up. So I think that's going to do that for the housekeeping shit. I just want to let everybody know, like I said, upcoming Patreon only episodes. I'm still going to do the weekly ones. The ones will still come out every Friday, but I'm going to start plugging in a couple of months that are just for the Patreon people, just for the faithful few that follow along with this show. But yeah, so I think that's going to do it for that housekeeping shit. So hold on one second, family. We're about to take us a little break. Gentleman Jack break, thank you. Now, one thing I was on my mind earlier before we got on here. I was just curious, and if y'all want to stop by in the comments, or if you want to email me, it's all on the website. Instagram, Facebook, hit me up. But does anybody else just have certain things that pisses them off? And I know everybody is. We're all human, people. Shit's going to piss you off, and you're just going to be like, what the fuck? I had one of these moments the other day. And if people who don't know me, I am not a people person at all. I know I come across just lovely and everything on the show, but I'm not a people person. I'm not one of those that likes to be out and about. It's just not my thing. I am a homebody type. I could spend, like when I had my Achilles tendon repaired, I'd recently had my left Achilles tendon repaired. And I told my wife, Jess, at one point, I think from the time I had that surgery, I had that surgery in December. From December till now, up until about a week or two ago, I think maybe I only left the house like 4 times. And that was to go to follow-up appointments on it. So I am not a go out, and I used to be, I'm not anymore. I am completely happy in my house because all of my shit's here. All of my toys are here. I have, my PlayStation. I have my racing simulator. I have all my toys are in the house. I have no need to go anywhere. So when the time comes and I have to go to like Walmart, because you got to get groceries. I don't look forward to those. And I want to take a quick break right now. While I'm recording this, if you hear any background noise, it is because kids are outside playing. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. It may not, but if it does, that's what it is. Kids are outside playing because unfortunately, we've reached that time of the year to where people start coming outside. I hate it. I hate summertime. I hate the hot weather. I hate it. I want winter. I want cold. I want get dark early. That's my favorite time of the year. I hate these summer months. I hate what's coming. But back on track though. So I had to go out. I had to go to Walmart. I had to get some things. And so I'm already not looking forward to it because I got to go out in public. I got to be around people. I don't like people. I hate everybody. It's just me. It's the way I am. Call me old, grouchy, whatever. I don't care. But I had to go out to Walmart. And I was in a good mood at the time. I was okay. I knew I had to go out in public. I had to go to Walmart. But the plan was I was going to get in there, get my shit, and get the fuck out. It's like I knew what I had to get. I don't need to go wandering through Walmart. I know exactly what I need. I know exactly where I need to go. I know exactly what I need to grab, throw in my cart or my buggy, if you're from the South, in my buggy, and I'm getting the hell out of there. That's just the way it works. So I'm like, okay, get to Walmart. You know, I'm in a decent mood. I've prepared myself for having to deal with the Walmart crowd. So I get to Walmart. I'm going up in there. I don't need a lot, but I know I need enough. I know I'm going to have to get enough where I need me a buggy. I know I gotta have a buggy to get all my shit. I get all the way in there, and now when I go to Walmart, I have a thing. I'm anywhere that's like a grocery store type thing. I'm kind of OCD. I have to park where the little buggy drop off is, where they put the carts, that little thing where they roll their carts in there. I have to park next to one of those. It's just, I don't know why. It's a thing. I have to park next to it. That way, when I get done unloading my shit, I just pull that little fucker buggy right over there, throw it up in there. So I got to park next to it every time. So I get to Walmart. I pull up. The only one available is kind of further back, a little further back. It's kind of, it's busy, but it ain't super busy. So I find my little spot where I'm next to the little cart drop-off thing. I park there, I get out, I'm heading inside. I know what I need. I know I'm only going to be in there a minute. I'm going to get my shit, get the fuck out. So I get into the Walmart. I go to turn to the little area where they keep all the carts at. You know, I go in there to grab my shit and start heading into Walmart. I go into Walmart, people, and when I turn that little corner to where all the little carts should be, there is not a fucking cart in sight at all. Not one. And I just stopped. And there's a part of me that almost went back to my car and just left because I instantly got annoyed. I was pissed off, you know. And some people may say, well, I shouldn't piss you off. I shouldn't say, hey, there's certain things, people, that just set me off. I don't know. It's me. It's just the way I am. But there was none. And so I had to turn around, walk all the way back out the Walmart to get to a little spot where they had some carts just thrown up in there, and I had to grab me one, then walk my happy ass all the way back up in the Walmart. And so right then I'm already annoyed, and I haven't even stepped inside of Walmart. You know, they got that greeting door. You come through, the lady sitting there greeting you. I haven't even got to that part yet. Now I had to go all the way back out in the parking lot, grab me a fucking cart to come back inside Walmart. So then I'm instantly just like, what the fuck, Walmart? One, you already created all these fucking self-checkout lines. So when you go into Walmart now, they just assume everybody's going to go to self-checkout. So let's just open up 2 fucking lines to even check out. I refuse to go those self-checkout lines. I don't do it. When my wife's with me, we'll go, because she's all for it. She's just like, she'll help me through it. You know, like she knows me. So she'll help me get through the process of having to scan her own shit and bag it. She scans, I bag. That's the process. I don't have patience for scanning and doing all that shit. We go to the store together. She's like, let's just go to self-checkout. I'm instantly like a little kid, mad, like huffing and puffing. But we've worked out the system now to where she scans, I bag. And I'm just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And so here I am, I'm going to Walmart. One, now you already want me to fucking bag my own shit. Like, now this is their thing. Now self-checkout, just go bag your own shit. Here I am going into Walmart. Now I got to go all the way out in the fucking parking lot to get my own buggy to bring this little fucking thing up in the store to do my shit. Because I'm just like, who the fuck is working here, people? Like, they just you got to have somebody in the store. Somebody's in the store. How the fuck can we keep some carts lined up inside the building? So I get all the way out to the parking lot. I get my buggy. I'm coming back in the store. I'm already kind of annoyed. I'm like, fuck, man, I just want to go home, but there's some shit I need, people. You know, sometimes you need that toilet paper. You need the certain things that you got to have. So I get my buggy. I'm coming back up in the Walmart. As I'm walking in the door of Walmart, guess what's happening? I look to my right. Here comes the little lazy fuck pushing this long rush of buggies up inside that little pickup area. And I'm just like, this motherfucker. Like, I could have literally stood there for another probably minute and would have had my cart brought to me. But no, I'm patient. I'm impatient. I'm like, fuck this. I went and got my own buggy. Come all the way back. As soon as I walk in, here come the buggies. I'm just like, this motherfucker. And so instantly, I'm already kind of like, just, man, that shit annoyed the fuck out of me, people. I don't know. Maybe y'all think that, I should work on some things, that my patience is bad and whatever. But that's just one of them things that just, ooh, that fucking irked me. What is it that pisses? Should I have not been mad, people? I mean, you can swing by in the comments and let me know. Would that have bothered you? It just bugged me, and it was just the whole time I'm through Walmart, I'm trying to give the meanest look on my face I could possibly give to make sure that people, I just want everybody in the fucking store to know that I am not happy right now, and so I'm just like, fuck. But that was my, like, one moment of the, the episode of what pisses Jay off now. And for some reason on my video right now, as I'm recording this, some balloons just went across the screen. I don't know who the fuck's listening, but fuck you for throwing these balloons up across the screen. But yeah, I'm curious. Is it just me? Should I be more patient? It's not gonna happen. But, like, maybe I feel sure there's people out there like, damn, I shouldn't. Why you get mad at that? I don't know. It just did. It pissed me off. So, but for me, it's normal. I feel like for me, I could find something on a daily basis that just kind of annoys me and pisses me off. I don't let it ruin my day, people. Like, I didn't let that trip to Walmart ruin my day. It was just in that moment of just like, what the fuck? And the fuckers at Walmart, like, you want me to scan my own shit, bag my own shit, do everything myself, and I still got to pay for it. There's no discount. It's not like you get a discount if you go over to the self-checkout. It'd be different if the self-checkout offered a 10% off for scanning your own shit and bagging your own shit. They don't give you no breaks. There's no special discount for that. So why the fuck am I going to waste my time in self-checkout? I'm not going to do it. It's not, because there's no perk to it. It'd be different to have its own if it had a perk. Like, if it was a big sign that said, hey, 10% off your final purchase if you come over here to this area and you scan your own shit and you bag your own shit, we're going to give you a discount. Then maybe, and I say maybe, I'm going to roll over there, because I say maybe because that's not a huge, it may not be a whole lot for me. I might be one of them days where, like, it ain't worth saving a couple bucks. Damn it. I want you to scan my shit. I want you to bag my shit, and then I'll go about my business. So, yeah, no special perks for self-checkout. I fucking hate them. But that was my thing for the week. People just kind of irked me. And there may be more before the week's over. I mean, this is Friday. Y'all listen to it now, but like I said, I record earlier in the week. So when y'all listen to this, I may have had some other shit that went down during the week. Maybe you'll hear about it next week. Tune in. Maybe you'll hear about it on the Patreon only shows that are going to be uploaded. But that was it for my week, as far as the moments that pissed Jay off. I'm curious, what are things that just kind of piss you off? Things that you may think, some people may think that it shouldn't, like, that shouldn't piss you off, but it does. Ask the questions, man, because I'm all for it, getting on here. And, hey, I'm an open book. You ask me anything, I'll answer it. I don't, there's no shame here. But, well, I've wasted enough of your time with that, had to vent, had to get this shit off. Sometimes you can't hold it all in. I've learned that through, years and years of practice. That sometimes you can't hold shit in. You got to let it out. You got to talk to people, and fucking people, we family here. If you listen to the show, I consider you family. If you spend a little bit of time listening to this shit show, you family. So if you can't vent to family, who the fuck can you vent to? Now, all that out of the way. Now we're about to get into this week's episode. This week, hold on. Everybody in the family, if you're listening, reach over, grab your drink. That was a gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Now, we're about to jump in here. Now, if you're new to the show, if you're new to this, if you've never heard of us, if you just kind of somehow stumbled across us somehow, Fright Flick FMK. Unless you were born yesterday, FMK. Fuck, marry, kill. That's how we rate them here. Marrying it, being the best. You could hang with it every day. That's your love. That's it, man. You can watch this bad boy any day of the week. You can put it on and you're okay with it. Then we're gonna get the that's the marry. Then we're gonna get the fuck. The fuck is your friends with benefits. There's people out there, y'all know what friends with benefits means. That's how every now and then. You're feeling a little itch on a Friday night. You don't know what you want. You ain't really craving a certain thing. But you know that one that's out there that you could hit up. And it's gonna scratch that itch real fucking good. That's how we say the fuck. Friends with benefits. Thank you, Lucy. She came up with that. Lucy, thank you. That is the friends with benefits. Then we get the kill. Kill being the worst. The kill I like to call the sea donkey. The sea donkey is let's just picture you in the club. You're going out one night, whatever. In that moment, that thing looked good. Looked real good. You're thinking to yourself, man, I bet I'll enjoy that. I want to take that home. I want to check that thing out, see what it's like. You take it home. You do the deed, man. You fucking lay the hammer. Do you want the hammer? You give it the hammer. You take it home and you do your thing. But then you wake up the next day. And if you're still there, you look over at it and you're looking at it and you're thinking like, why the fuck did I do that? And all you want to do is get away from it. You don't want to see it again. You don't want to bump into it again. You want to be able to, roll out of bed real slow, gather up your shit, low crawl out the fucking door and get the hell out and hope and pray that you never see this thing again. That's the kill. That's how we do the movies. There's certain movies you're going to watch them. You never want to see it again. So that's it. And once again, for new people, for the new family who have swung by here, I talk about a movie just like you're sitting across from me right now. I want to talk about it just like this. If I was sitting down with somebody at work, like, hey man, I seen this fucking movie this weekend. It was this. This is the way we talk about it. I'm not deep, people. Nothing about me is deep. Nothing about me is fancy. I just talk about it like we're sitting across having a drink, which you should be right now. Hold on. Speak of having a drink. Hold on. Gentleman Jack break. That's kind of close to the last one. Kind of almost back to back. That's okay. Now we're about to jump into this episode. This one, it is on Tubi, people. You can watch it for free. I pushed out last week, if you followed along in social media, I pushed out last week that this was what was coming. You've had a whole week. That's like the teacher giving you homework and, you know what's coming. You've had time to prepare. You've had time to get ready for it. So you've had time to go watch this movie. It's on Tubi for free. Ain't gonna cost you nothing. So this movie, this week, Daddy's Little Girl, a 2012 Australian horror thriller film written and directed by Chris Sun. Now, if you've not dabbled into Australian horror, they've fucking got it figured out. I love Australian horror. Chris Sun, who wrote and directed Daddy's Little Girl, also wrote and directed Boar, another Australian film that is fucking awesome. And eventually, I'm probably going to cover it on here eventually. And he also covered Charlie's Farm. He also did Charlie's Farm, which is another banger that was just so fucking good. So when I came across this one, I'm like, pulled it up, looked at it. It was one of those titles that I came across as I'm scrolling because there's never a plan. I don't plan a whole lot of shit out. I'm week to week. I'm like them old, growing up poor like I did, paycheck to paycheck. That's how, to make ends meet. It's what I'm used to. So week to week is the way this show kind of goes. So just like earlier when I told you, like if you're into Patreon, I already kind of know that the first movie I'm going to cover is The Corpse of Anna Fritz. So that's like a planned out thing. That's like a week ahead. So like next week's episode, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about for next week. I'll figure that shit out. But so I came across this one, scrolling through, seeing the title, and thought, yeah, I'll check it out. Then I kind of clicked on it just to kind of see who directed, and I seen Chris' son. And then when I seen he did Boar and he was part of Charlie's Farm, I was like, oh man, because I'm a big fan of both of those. So I want to give you I think this was off IMDb, the little plot of this movie, Daddy's Little Girl. In a time when stranger danger is ever present, a single father learns that it's the ones you trust most who have to be watched the closest. Now, when I seen the title, Daddy's Little Girl, when you see something like that and you see a horror thriller, you kind of start putting like, okay, this is going to be, it's not going to be good for Daddy's Little Girl. That's just what when you see a title like that. And when I pulled it off the internet, it said 2012, but then when I watched it on something else, it was like 2014, so I don't fucking know. But either way, we're still talking about it. I don't care what the fucking date says. Now this one, people, let me tell you right now, this one's going to get a little graphic. This is going to jump into basically what's going to happen here is Daddy's little girl is going to get killed. Now, when I say that, there are parents out there who listen to this show. This is where I want you to take a second and just put yourself in a position. Put yourself, and yeah, and for me, I enjoy movies. I'm a big fan of movies that has stuff that goes on that can really happen. It may sound fucked up, but that's just me. I enjoy a movie that I can look at it and be like, holy shit, that could really fucking happen. Now, so this one is, I want, if you're a parent, or if not, just think about the fact that if like you've been a parent, you have a daughter, and something happens to this little girl or son or whatever. And because you see it every day, and if you follow along, if you watch a lot of news and shit, there's always shit going on with, shit happening to kids. And, that's one of my just like, oh, there's no excuse for anybody out there that does anything to kids. Nothing. There's not a single little bitty part of me that feels any type of sorry for anybody that does anything to kids. Like, you are the lowest of the lowest piece of fucking shit out there for people who do anything when it comes to kids. Like, anything. So this one is going to start you off. When this one starts off, and like I said, it's going to be, I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to spoil it. But, you've had a week to watch it. If you haven't, and I get it. Movies like this aren't for everybody. This is a revenge movie. You may see it and think, oh man, fuck, this dude's going to lose his little girl. But hey, I like revenge movies. I like it to where some shit may happen, but damn it, you're gonna get your fucking karma. It's gonna come back on you tenfold, and you're gonna get fucked up. And this is one of those movies, people. This is where one of those that yeah, it's shitty. It is so fucking shitty. But revenge is gonna come back. It's gonna come back and get you. And this one is going to get when it gets into the revenge part. And I tell people I'm a gore whore. Like I love it. I love gore type shit. I love torture type shit. That's just me. I enjoy those types of movies. And this was going to give you a fucking good taste of somebody getting fucking tortured who deserves every fucking thing they got. So if you, I don't normally spend a lot of time on the cast, only because I mess up people's names and I'm not great at it. But some of the cast members in this one, Billy Baker is going to play the little girl. Georgia Riley who plays the little girl, who is the daughter of Derek Riley, played by Michael Thompson. Now, there's some other people in this movie, but whatever. When this one's going to start off, and it's going to give you kind of like flashes, kind of back and forth, because you're going to get a couple of little quick scenes of like somebody, you see him tying down or like or screwing down these like braces that goes across the wrist. And I'm doing this for the YouTube because people on YouTube can see it. But he's got these like metal braces that are holding down like the wrist and shit, and he's like screwing them down. And I'm like, okay, so he's like sitting up. He's got this person is captured, and he's like screwing these things down to hold him there. And while this is going on, it is also showing a lady having a baby. Like you hear her like yelling in the background, and just going back and forth between the dude setting up his little securing this guy, and then we got this lady, she's having the baby. And so it's going to do that for a little bit. And she has a healthy little baby girl. Derek is the husband's name. Derek is the father of the little girl, who is named Georgia. So it starts introducing the movie starts, and it's showing videos of Georgia and Derek and his, baby mama at the time. For some reason, I had her name somewhere and I keep forgetting it, but the baby mama. It shows her like as she's getting older, from a little to getting older, and they like had these little home videos playing, and she's like getting older. And it looks like when I'm watching it, I'm terrible with age, but I'm thinking to myself like 5 or 6. I guess they're pretty fucking good in this one. But it shows them having little home videos, people shit back, videotapes everything, and playing outside in the park and stuff like a normal happy family. And it does that for a second. Well, then we get, and in the video, spoiler alert, daddy and baby mama is no longer together. As happy as they looked in the fucking video, the little home videos, they're not together, because we get dad Derek is home. He's got the little girl, Georgia, bath time. She's in there playing, got a bathtub full of bubbles. She's having a good time. She's got her Barbie doll. She's got her My Little Pony. She's doing her thing, and Derek's kind of like, about time to get out type shit. Takes her to her bedroom that night, and he's talking to her, and he asks her, he's like, "Do you know what tomorrow is?" And she's like, "Yes, my birthday." And so the next day is the little girl's birthday, Georgia's birthday. Georgia comes out and she tells him, "Do you know how old you're going to be?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to be 6." And so next morning, dad wakes up, Georgia comes in, she's all excited, it's my birthday. And then he's got like a little barbecue going on that afternoon for Georgia's birthday. Family's all out there, friends and shit, a good time. When she's out there, and this is the first part of this fucking movie that makes me go, John Wayne Gacy, because his brother Tommy is dressed up as a clown. And as soon as I see the clown, I'm just like, I was like, oh, I hope this isn't going to go the way I think it's going to go, because his brother Tommy, and you find out eventually that it's his brother Tommy, and Georgia goes up to Tommy the clown, and he takes her over there to the swings, and he's like pushing her on the swing type shit, and it just gave you that vibe, man, right out of the gate. As you know, there was no like for me, there was no. I instantly went to, oh, I bet it's got something to do with the fucking uncle, the dad's brother. Just the way that clown thing, man, just oozed John Wayne Gacy. Now, while they're at the cookout, fucking Derek gets a phone call from the wife, the baby mama, not wife, baby mama, calls the little girl over there. She's talking to him, and you can tell now, like you thought in the videos in the beginning, that they're just living it up like the best, just living the dream. But no, they're not. They're not. They're not on good terms at all. And so, baby mama and Derek kind of go back and forth a little bit, and you can tell they're not getting along. But then after the little birthday thing's over, apparently Derek works at they're out on the coast somewhere where the water is. Do some surfing and shit. Derek works at a surfboard type store where you do. He's in there like waxing surfboards, repairing surfboards, whatever, And while he's working there, he works with a friend of his named Colin. They both run this place together. Well, then you see Tommy. It was the same one that was dressed up as the fucking clown. Derek's brother comes up in the store. He works there too. And so he's basically asking next week that he has a date. And he's asking Tommy if he can watch Georgia while he goes on this fucking date type shit. And Tommy's like, oh yeah, him and his girlfriend, they'll watch her. And so while Derek goes back to work, here comes fucking boss man Colin. I say the boss man, but they're partners. Colin comes in there and he's talking to Derek, and he's basically, hey man, we're behind on bills, all this shit. I can't keep paying your brother to work here. So you're going to need to fire him. And I can understand why, because when fucking Tommy comes in, all Tommy wants to do is sit on his fucking ass. He's fucking lazy. He's just sitting there flipping through magazines and shit. So I'm just like, yeah, Tommy's a fucking waste of space, man. And so he is going to have to, his buddy Colin's like, dude, we're going to have to let him go. But then we jump to that weekend that he was asking Tommy to watch his little girl, Georgia. Drops her off at Uncle Tommy's house. They have a good time. Next morning, he picks her up. Everything's good. Now he's taking her to baby mama house. I wish I could remember her fucking name. Maybe it was Tanya or some shit like that. But he's going to drop her off there. He pulls up in the driveway. We're going to call her Tanya just because. Tanya comes out, takes George out of the back seat of the car. He's asking her, and this is the part that kind of jumped out at me. When he asked her, he was just like, everything good? And he asked her, he's like, have you fixed the broken window? And when he said that, I was like, Of course, in the title with Daddy's Little Girl, you already know some shit's going to happen to Daddy's Little Girl. Then when I hear this, when he's talking about this window, and he's offering her, like, hey, let me know, I can help you fix it. She's just a rude ass bitch. And she's just like, I'll take care of it myself, blah, 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 blah. And, whatever. Piece of shit. That's just how I felt about her in that moment when she was like, the dude's offering to help you, So then we get Tommy and Derek, the two brothers. They're out there on a surfing, hang 10 type shit, surfing shit. And he's talking to him. And Derek has to let Tommy know that, hey man, we got to let you go. And Tommy does not take this well. Tommy is one of these fucking kids. And this, I say kid, he's not a kid. This dude's like late 20, early 30s. He acts like he's never known disappointment a day of his fucking life. And so when he finds this out and he's all butt hurt and shit, and he's kind of like, well, fuck y'all then, and walks off. And I'm like, motherfucker, we seen what you was doing in the store, sitting there flipping through magazines, not doing shit. I can understand how you got fired, but he didn't like it, just walks off. Then we're going to get, Georgia back with baby mama, Tanya. She's putting her down for the night, and you see Tanya go to that window. She closes that shit. She tries to like slam it type shit. Like it's going to fucking lock on its own. And as soon as I'm seeing that, I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. This fucking window is going to be the issue here. So then the next day, we get Derek gets woken up by a phone call from Tanya, baby mama, basically saying Georgia isn't here. The whole thing's popping off now. Derek calls his buddy Colin, like, hey man, I just got a call from Tanya, Georgia's missing. They all shoot. He rushes over to Tanya's house. When he pulls up, you see the police tape, police cars everywhere. He runs up, and I can't even put my mind around a moment like that. You can't. I can't anyway. I can't imagine what's going through somebody's mind in that moment. And he runs up to the house, and he's trying to talk to the detectives, and they're basically telling him like, it looks like she was taken, and they're all investigators up in the house, and they tell him like it looks like she was taken from the window, out the window. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh shit, there's that fucking window coming into play. And I'm just like, Derek is not going to be happy right now because Derek has offered, and yeah, you can tell he's pissed off with baby mama Tanya, because as soon as they said she was taken out the window, and I'd have been the same way. I'm like, bitch, if you would have fucking fixed the window, maybe we wouldn't be here right now. Maybe we wouldn't. Like, Georgia would still be here, And I will say this: you will like Georgia right from the get-go. As soon as it shows this little girl, she's just happy, little blonde hair, blue-eyed, playing with her stuff, and she does very good. She's very good little actress, so everything's super good. And, I'm just like, and right out of the gate, you almost, and it's shitty because you kind of know where this thing's going. You know leading up to it, and as soon as they come in there and they basically, she's missing the window type thing, and they decide to come, they go out and get a picture of Georgia, and they bring it out, and they're going to be like, hey, here is a picture of her, telling all the neighbors like, hey, maybe she didn't get far, let's go walk around, check your backyards, check out your little wooded area behind your house, and see if we can find her. So they all go out on the look, they're out there looking for her. Now, here's a little part where I had a little issue right here. I'm adjusting myself in my chair if it sounds kind of weird. But part where I had a little issue. But maybe I didn't. Maybe I realized it now that I was about to say that. But they're all out in the woods walking around. Derek's out there. The police are out there. Neighbors are out there. But then fucking baby mama's up in the house with a couple friends of hers. I don't know if they're a family or what. She's just been in the house. And I get it. Like, maybe... what if she comes back to the house? Somebody needs to be there. I got it. Somebody needs to be there. It don't need 3 or 4 of you little fuckers up in there. Maybe 1. Rest of you could be fucking looking. So as Derek's walking through the woods, he overhears the police radio. He's close to some police. He hears the radio basically saying, we found a little girl. We found her. She's over at some little out on the, I forget what they called it, but they found her. So when he hears that, he does this little happy, like, slaps on the little bridge he's on, and he's like in a good mood. He's like, oh man, relief. We found her. He jumps on the phone. Then he calls baby mama Tanya. She jumps up all excited. She's hugging The other chick's up in the fucking house with her that we're not out looking for her, just sitting around. Jumps up, they're all hugging and shit, and I'm just like, hold on now. Let's not get too excited. But they're just relieved because they hear we found Georgia. So he gets his buddy Colin, him and Colin, they're hauling ass to where they said they found the body. The baby mama gathers up her little people sitting up in the house with her. They head out there. Now, as soon as when I hear this and I'm watching it, you're going, "Yep, this ain't good, people. This is not good." You know, he was just so big on hope, like just so excited that they found her, like it didn't go off. And I don't know. I can't imagine. Like I said, I can't imagine being in a situation like that to where, you know, a little light that would go off, like, well, they found her, but like, I mean, is she good? You know, none of that gets brought up. So Derek shows up, and it's out on the beach area. When he pulls up, you can see, and you know, when you go to beaches sometime, you know, it's almost like you're up top, and then you kind of go down a little hill to get down to like where the ocean's at and shit. When he comes over to the berm, over the top, when he's coming up there, he sees a police lady coming up, and she is throwing up. Like whatever she has seen has got her sick, where she is throwing up. And he comes to the top of that hill, and they were all like kind of coming towards him. And you can tell it was one of those like, don't let him down here. Don't let him see her this way. So the police officer grabbing him. He's falling to the ground. He is screaming. Next thing you know, here comes baby mama. The police are grabbing them. And this moment right here is intense, people, because they got some music playing, and you just see him. Like, he is on the ground struggling, like in the dirt, in the sand, just trying to reach. Like, he just wants to get down there, but they are stopping him from seeing what has happened to little Georgia. And it's a tough watch right there, because in that moment he knows, like, all that hope, everything. And when he looks down there, you see they got like a little canopy over the area. They got like the white sheet over it, and you know that it is not good. So you're seeing it, and you're just watching these parents just screaming. You know, they're 6 years old, man. Like, parents are not supposed to outlive their kids. You always hear that all the time. And seeing this, you know, Derek and her, just it's an intense moment right there when they're, you know. And then they're not going to show you Georgia, so don't think that you're going to see something with the little girl. You're not going to see nothing. All you're going to see is the little canopy, the little white sheet type thing. And I'm just like, it was a fucked up moment. That was a pretty rough. And so then we're going to get to the funeral. And there is nothing worse than a little kid's coffin. That is just the sight of that is that gets you, man. It gets me. They're in the funeral home. They're doing the funeral service, I mean, and you see up front of the church this white casket. And on the white casket, they got like a little doll picture of her and stuff like that. It's just something about the sight of that, man. Just that's a little kid, and I can't put it in the words. It's hard to explain. It's a rough moment. The watching them screaming and so upset, and then now we're in the funeral home. You see this little fucking white coffin, and you know they get through the service, and you know you see Derek, his brother Tommy, And it's a couple of people that go up there and they take the stuff off the coffin and they have to like, carry it out like they do. And so that was a really, really, really shitty moment, and they did this very well. Especially the mom. The mom was tore up. And there's a part in the funeral, while the funeral was going on, you see Derek look over to her and he kind of looks at her. They don't make eye contact. You don't see him looking, but he looks at her. And I'm thinking to myself, as I'm watching it, because I actually put in like my notes. And when I say I take notes, here's the way I do this, people. I use the voice recorder on my notes. And as I'm watching it, I'm just talking into it and it's like putting shit down that kind of stands out to me. And so in this movie, like when he looks over at her, and there's got to be a part of him that's looking at her going, if you would just let me fix the fucking window, maybe we wouldn't be here right now. Like, I offered to fix it. I offered to do it and told you needed to, and you didn't do it. And now here we are. Our little girl's in that little fucking casket and she's gone. And maybe it could have all been avoided. The way he looks at her. And that's the way I would be thinking, to be honest with you. Like you could have we could have had, maybe this could have been avoided. Maybe this little sick fuck would have come to the window and it was locked and he just went on about his business. But no, the window was open. So now we go back home after the funeral. And this is one of the things, people, that I never understood. I never understood the gatherings after the funeral. I don't understand that everybody coming back over to the house. Maybe it's just me. But they're all, that little after funeral shit where you're back at the house and everybody's brought food and shit and you got family and everybody's standing around the fucking house. I don't get that. It's a me thing. But they're all sitting there. And, Derek's sitting there and you can tell he's rough. He's got somebody talking to him and she's just like, I think it was a beautiful send-off. Like, who the fuck says shit like that, people? Like, it's a beautiful send-off? Like, I don't know. That's just me. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I wouldn't want to talk to nobody. And you're going to be like, this beautiful send-off. Bitch, shut the fuck up. And so while he's sitting there, he overhears baby mama. Baby mama in the kitchen. We're still calling her Tanya. And she comes out and you hear her say, I don't understand how this happened. And man, that just fucking flips a switch in Derek, because fucking Derek jumps up and he's pissed off. He's like, what you just say? And he's like going off. And he's like, I told this bitch about the fucking window. And he goes in on her, man. And apparently like nobody in the family knew about this window thing until he puts it all out there in the kitchen. And so when he does this, his friend Colin comes over and gets him like, hey man, let's go for a walk. But then you see some of the family members, man, they're looking at her like, we thought it was this and this. And so she got family turning on her right now. She's getting like, they're all just like, oh, we didn't know all this. And so Derek goes through a rough time, because then we're going to jump forward 6 months. 6 months, this thing goes forward, and not a fucking clue about who done it. Nothing. He talks to the detectives. Detectives are, he's kind of like, he's used to it. He's used to them old bullshit, generic answers. And so but then when they call him this time, they tell him that we do have a couple leads. We had somebody call in that said they seen somebody leaving the beach that night around 3 a.m. and he was bringing in a sketch artist to draw out what they seen. And then at this point, 6 months later, Derek ain't got a whole lot of hope, man. He's just like, whatever, just whatever, and you can't blame the dude. 6 months after your little girl's been killed and nothing. And so when they're telling you some shit about, somebody may have seen something, we're going to get a sketch artist, you're just like, okay, whatever, dude, same old shit. So Derek going through a rough time. Derek's at home, he's having dreams and shit with like him and Georgia. He's talking to Georgia and all this stuff. And 6 months later, I've never been in a position like that. There's not a time limit you can put on some shit like that. You can't, like, his friend comes in at one point and he's like, hey man, you need to get up, man. You just been shacked up here in the house all the time. Like, you need to, like, come on. And I'm just like, yeah, there's no time limit on something like that. I don't, like, who are you to come in and say, like, you need to get out of the house. You've been here. Who the fuck are you, dude? Like, his friend instantly, I didn't like him when he pulled this part. He's like, I get it. He's trying to help him get him out of the house, but it's just kind of like, you don't know, man. You're not in those shoes, and you will never, people will never know unless you're in those shoes to know what the fuck would, how you would handle it. And so while he's sitting there, his friend's going to kind of get him out of the house. They go surfing and stuff like that. It kind of gets him out of the house. Well, Colin is going to ask while he's asking Derek to come surfing. He's going to ask him, like, do you want to invite Tommy? Derek says, I haven't seen Tommy since the funeral, And when he says that, I'm just like, there's something going on with the brother. Because one, we already had, Gacy the fucking clown in the beginning. And it just, the brother just kind of, just something kind of off. Gets mad at him when he gets fired and shit like that. And so one morning Derek's gonna get a phone call from fucking Tommy. Tommy finally calls him up, like, hey bro, how you doing? And he's kind of like, hey man, how you doing? And I haven't seen you since the funeral. Tommy's like, well, I kind of need to handle it my own way, type thing. And there's a part that's like, okay, everybody handles death differently. Not everybody handles it the exact same way. So when it says this, is kind of like, he's kind of like, well, this is my way of, I had to handle it my own way, and he's basically then Tommy's like, hey man, I'm having a barbecue over at the house this weekend. I want you to come. And so at first Derek's kind of like, well, I don't know. But then Tommy's like, hey man, I can come over. We'll have a beer together and blah, blah, blah. So then when we're going to get to that weekend. And at this point, it is like, he's having this party, and I'm assuming Tommy is late 20s, early 30s. And he's having this little barbecue bash at his little house. And I remember watching it, and I remember in my notes I said it because I do the voice recording when I'm putting notes in there, and I was like, is there an age that you get too old to have these drunken backyard bashes? Like, is there a cutoff for that? Like, I would never no, never. But I'm seeing this, I'm just like, at what point is it like where you still have all your little friends, making out in the pool and shit like that? Just stupid shit. But there's one part where it comes across kind of creepy because in the kitchen, they're in the house. Derek's there now. Tommy comes in. Apparently a cousin of them came back from Italy or whatever. And Tommy's joking around with Derek and about the cousin. And he was like, don't we just have the hottest fucking cousin? And I'm just like, hold on, inbred. Like, is this like, and the way they were talking, it's like first cousin like level shit. This ain't like third, fourth, and fifth where you don't know about each other. This is like, he's just kind of like, don't we have like the fucking hottest cousin? I'm just like, okay, creeper, But, and so then they're out there at the party, they're having a good time. All of a sudden, Derek, you see him sitting out by the pool. Derek gets up, comes inside. Derek goes into like, I don't know, it's like a room because I had like this twin bed looking thing. He's like laying down on the bed. Like maybe, I don't know if he had too much fucking drink. Maybe he was just tired of people. I could understand the whole being tired of fucking people and not want to be around them anymore. So he's like laying down on this bed, like just kind of chilling out. Well, he looks up and he sees a little camera. There's like a video camera in a box on the dresser. And then I'm thinking, oh, that's a video camera. Maybe him and his girl likes to get a little freaky. I ain't mad at you. I don't judge. Like, if you want to videotape your little freak time, that's fine. But the weird part was it was hidden. It was kind of in a box hidden. I'm like, if you and your girl are down to, videotape, have a good time, why you got some shit hidden in the box? Then Derek goes to a bathroom taking a good old, when you've been drinking, you got to take that piss. He's in there taking his piss. He finds another little camera. He's not really thinking nothing of it. He's just kind of like, what the fuck? You fucking freaks. Then we want to come to a part. This is where this thing, and this one, people, it's a slow burn up to about now. It's kind of crawled its way up to where we're at now. And while he is there, he is going to need to get on the computer and check an email. He's like at the computer desk. Even his brother comes in and he tells him, hey man, I just need to check an email. Tanya was supposed to send some old pictures of Georgia. And he's like, okay, whatever. So while he's there at the little computer desk, for some reason he gets nosy. He starts nosing around in the fucking little filing cabinet / drawer next to the computer. He pulls out this like little black notebook, like a little journal book that people write in. He pulls this thing out. And when he starts reading it, it's some fucked up shit. You see that's like name Ben in it. And while he's reading it, it's kind of fucked up. So he's holding the book. Well, the next thing you know, here comes the girlfriend of his brother, Tommy. She comes in and he's talking to her a minute. He's like, well, I think I just want to go home and go to bed. And she's like, well, I'll help you get out back so Tommy doesn't stop you. Well, he takes that book with him. He shoves it in his pants, takes the little journal book with him. He pulls up at his house. When he gets to his house, he pulls that journal out and he starts reading. And it starts showing you some flashbacks and shit. Well, he's outside. It shows him sitting beside his truck still. And this dude is fucked up. Like, Derek is like crying. He's upset. Like, he's read this book. And I'm just like, holy fuck. Like, was there something in this book? Did Tommy, his own flesh and blood, his own brother, kill his little girl? And you don't really know it at the time. But then the next thing you know is you start catching Derek. Derek's trying to get some info. He's sitting there with a friend of his and he starts asking him, they've got these questions about like how to stop the bleeding, how to like, they get on like how do you cauterize something and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what was in that book? That was there something in there that had to do with Georgia? Because he's talking to this friend of his that's sitting around drinking and shit. And they're talking about these, like, what they start bleeding. He's like, oh, you cauterize it. And then at one point, he actually goes to a dentist. And he's talking to the dentist about how, like, if the mouth bleeds and stuff. And he's on the computer. He's taking notes. He's looking up information. He's asking questions to his friend. Like, oh, if somebody passes out, how do you wake them up? And he's talking about how you use smelling salts and all that shit. And so Derek is doing homework. Derek is getting his little area set up. And I'm like, holy shit. This motherfucker just found out that his brother, his own brother, killed his daughter. Because he has a part to turn him in. There's a part where he goes to the police station. He has the book. And the detective comes out there and he's talking to him. And he's basically like, hey, we got this sketch artist. He's done up this drawing. Do you want to see it? And he's like, no, I'm about to take a week off from work. I'll check back in when I'm back. And he's just like, he has decided in that moment he's not, because at first I thought he was going to turn that book over to the police and let them handle it. But then while he's out there, you see him, he's having these like flashbacks, these memories, and you can tell he's upset. And in that moment, he decides, fuck the police. I'm going to handle this myself. So he tells the detective, blah, blah, blah. I'll check the picture later. I got to go. He leaves with the journal still. And now he's planning it. Like imagine the patience. Let's just say in this journal, he's going to find out that his own brother killed his 6-year-old daughter. Imagine the patience to not just go, I'm going to go fuck him up right now. Bust in the door, fuck him up. No, Derek, like, no, that's too easy. I'm going to plan this thing out. So he plans it. He gets this whole thing set up to where he's going to make his brother pay for what he did to his daughter. And so Derek is going to eventually link back up with his brother. Over at his brother's house, they're having a beer together. Derek going to slip something in his drink. Next thing you know, we're going to have fucking Tommy waking up on the table. Now, this is where this bad boy is going to just amp up, man. Like, the revenge is coming. Derek knows, because in that journal, there are going to be 3 stories. A 10-year-old boy named Ben. I think the little girl, I can't remember, 14 or so, a little girl named Kelsey. Then there's a story about his 6-year-old daughter, Georgia, Tommy's own fucking niece. And in these stories, man, it's detailed shit. Now, I said earlier, I love a good revenge movie. I love the torture, the gore, all that shit. I love it. That's one of my favorites. So Derek is going to have Tommy all to himself. He has put thought into this setup. He has this little fucker, Tommy, bolted down, like on his wrist, on his fucking ankles. He's got this thing across his head. He can't move. Derek has taken the time. He has come up with some creative type shit because he's going to make this little fucker pay, and at this point, I'm all for it. Like, hammer down. Let's just go in on him as fucking hard as you want. And they did not hold back. And I'm so glad they didn't. Nothing was off limits for fucking Tommy's little bitch ass. And so when he gets him in there are so many different things that he does to him. And when he first gets him in there, Derek's asking him, because the way he's got this thing set up, and you see it, he has made it to where Tommy can't talk. He had done like a tracheotomy. I forget how to say that word, but tracheotomy or some shit. But you can't breathe. They put that shit in your throat. Well, he's put a tube in his throat. Tommy cannot talk unless Derek covers the hole on that tube sticking out of his neck. He covers it up. Then Tommy can do a little bit of talking, whisper some shit out. So Tommy wakes up not knowing what the fuck's going on. Derek's got him there, and he basically tells him, like, you can only talk if I cover this thing up. He's asking him, like, you going to tell me what I want to hear? Tommy ain't saying shit. Next thing you know, Derek got him a fucking box cutter. Derek going in on the side of him. And like cutting, and kudos for them not giving me no off-screen type shit. I hate it when some shit going on and you do it off-screen. I want to fucking see it, people. And this one was so fucking good at getting you up close of everything that Derek was doing to Tommy. Up close. And man, he tortured the fuck out of Tommy. And I was all for it. Like, I am into it, man. I am enjoying it. There is going to be a part during this. And God, I couldn't imagine how hard it would have been. Because at one point he's going to have the journal. And he basically, as he's talking to Tommy, he tells him, like, Georgia was 6 years old. So I'm going to torture you for a day for every year she was alive. So that would be 6 days. Earlier when he's talking to his friend, he's talking about the torture thing. And they were both sitting around drinking, bullshitting. And he basically talked about it, how, like, you train your brain. Like, you got to kind of ease them into it. So he knew not when it came to this torture, not to go full on right out of the gate. You got to kind of help build him up to it. And man, did he fucking build him up to it. And Derek was so fucking calm. Like the way he talked to him, the way he, it was, oh, I like Derek. He was so calm when he would talk to him and the things he would do to fucking Tommy. And my favorite out of every fucking thing, because he gets to the point where he starts reading these little out of his book that Tommy had been writing, and he talked about Ben. And in the thing, he even said that how he broke Ben's knees so he couldn't get away. So then Derek's just like, well, I'm gonna fuck your knees up. And Derek comes up with this thing he called the knee splitter, and Chef's kiss on how fucking brutal that shit was. And so the next day he's going to read about the girl who was apparently, I think she was the sister to the 10-year-old little boy, the teenage girl who he kidnapped, raped, and killed. And so one morning, Derek's going to come up in the fucking little garage area where he's got him. And he comes in such a good mood. Derek's mood is so much better during this time. When this is going on, he is such a happy, you can tell. Like, he is just better acting. He just feels better. And so he comes in one morning, swings the door, and he's, hey, man, you'll never guess what I found. Derek has a PVC pipe, white plastic pipe. And he has a strand of barbed wire. And this part, I enjoyed it because this little piece of shit, Tommy was going to get it, man. And Derek's basically telling him, like, he's got this white tube. He's like, I'm going to stick this tube up your ass. And then I'm going to run this barbed wire through the tube up into your guts. And I'm just like, oh, fuck yes. And he even joked with him. He's like, oh, don't worry, I got lube. He was going to, not make it too bad. But then there's a point to where Tommy's been able to get a little bit of his voice back over a couple of days. And you hear him say the comment of how he enjoyed killing his daughter. Like how he enjoyed it. And man, fucking Derek snapped in that moment. He jumps up on the table. He takes that fucking PVC pipe, no lube, no nothing, and just shoves it up his fucking ass. And the next thing you know, he's got the fucking barbed wire going up in there. And, Tommy is screaming like no end. And you're just like, you're for it. I'm for it. I was all for it. I was like, fucking let him have it. Don't let him die. But fucking let him have it. And so he basically tells him he's going to shove the barbed wire up his ass. Then he's going to pull the plastic tube out. And he's just going to have that barbed wire shoved up his fucking ass, up into his guts. And, and I'm just like, Derek's going in on him. And then and like I said, he's going through the book. He reads about Ben, and that's where he fucked the dude's knee up. And the knee is so fucking good. Then he's going to talk about fucking the girl, Kelsey, and how he raped her. And then he makes a comment to him. He's like, oh, do you like raping people? Do you want to feel what it's like to be raped? And he goes down there in between his legs, and he's just like, he's got that fucking barbed wire, and he's just, he's fucking going in on him. This is brutal. The torture he puts this piece of shit through, man. It's just like, and the whole time I'm for it. Like, I am a fan of Derek. I am a fan of just how fucking calm he was, and he makes little comments towards fucking Tommy that's just funny. Because there's one part where his parents even come over. Their parents come over, and, he's got fucking Tommy downstairs bolted down to the table. And, man, he fucks Tommy up. They give so up close Like there's parts where he's like chopping off an arm. There's a part where he's pulling his fucking teeth out, and the teeth pulling part was so up close to where it's like when they're pulling it, you're seeing the fucking meat coming with it, and it was just like, give it to him, Derek. Just fuck him up, and it's going to. Man, I like a revenge movie. I love a revenge movie, and there's movies sometimes when you watch them, and this is one of those where you can put yourself in a position, like you could, you know, put yourself in his shoes. You don't know what people. I can never do some shit like that. You never know. You never know what you would do until you're in those shoes, until you're in a position. What would you do? And I'm a big believer. I wish this was the thing. I wish this was like in the fucking Constitution somewhere to where if you fuck with kids, this is what happens to you. Because people, he ain't gonna kill Tommy. No, he ain't gonna kill him. He's gonna fuck Tommy up for the 6 days he promised him. Then Tommy's gonna go off and get his fucking prison time. So Daddy got to do whatever the fuck he wanted for those 6 days. Kept him alive, and then he's going to get shipped off to prison. I wish this was a thing. I wish this was the way the system worked. To where if you get busted and you get, doing anything with kids and shit like that, that's just like you are another level of fucking low to fuck with kids. For anybody that does that, this should be an automatic. Like they could take notes off of this movie of like, this is what we're going to do to you if we catch you. We're going to do these things. And this movie could be the guideline, in my opinion. They could do all this shit to a motherfucker. And I would be all for it. Hell, I would fucking pay to watch it. Like I said, Tommy's going to get his. Fucking revenge, man. And you are pulling for it. And it's just a fucking, because it gives you, as soon as I started seeing in the beginning, when I seen the clown and just a little, I'm just like, cause in my mind, I'm going, I hope this ain't his own fucking family that's going to do this to his daughter. That's what I hope it's not. But that's what's going to happen. His own fucking flesh and blood. And there's a part in the movie where he basically says, in the writing, in his book, in the journal, he goes into detail. But there's a part, people, where Derek is sitting down next to Tommy and he is reading from his journal about the night he took Georgia and how he killed her. And man, that is a hard part to get through because he's reading it to him. And in the journal, he's making comments about how, Georgia just kept saying, "Where's my daddy? I just want my daddy." And I'm just sitting there going like, holy fuck. And Derek sit there next to him and he's reading this to him. You could tell like this scene is just so fucking, it's intense, man. And because I would have lost it on this motherfucker just trying to read that. I would have wanted just to take something out and bash his fucking head in. But Derek just sits there and he reads it. You could tell. But man, because he goes in and talk about how he hit her and how she wouldn't shut up and how she annoyed him. And then a lot of it came down to the fact that he was mad because he got fired. He was mad that Derek's friend Colin and his own daughter were taking up time and he felt like he was being left out. Such a fucking loser that Tommy is in this. Fucking loser. But Tommy's gonna get his. And so fucking good. I love a revenge movie. I love it where you just fuck him up. And that's what this one did, people. Man, I was on the line when I was watching it when it was done. Do I fuck it, marry it, or kill it? And I was like, man, this is almost a marry because I enjoy a good revenge movie. I enjoy when gore and up close type shit like that takes place because it was done so fucking good. Um, it's going to be it's a fuck for me. But it's a good fuck. Like I could watch this one again tomorrow just because I enjoy seeing the type of shit this motherfucker did to him. And you're pulling for it, man. You're just like, fuck yeah, Derek, fuck him up. And I'm doing this the whole time. Once it kicks off, because it's going to be a slow burn. Like to get to where it really starts digging in, when he finds out it's his fucking brother, and you're just like, what the fuck? And man, it ramps up. Just watching Derek during this time, he is so calm, but like just like gone. But it's so fucking good. So that's going to be my thing for my rating on Daddy's Little Girl. This is a good fuck that I will be watching again. You know, even if I decide to fast forward through all the fucking lead up to get me toward the end where he starts fucking Tommy up. You know, but yeah, this one is it's going to get, yeah, you've had time to watch it, people. I pushed it out last week. So if you haven't watched it, free on Tubi, go check it out. It's not going to show you anything bad against the kids. You know, I know it's a turn off for a lot of people. It's not going to show you anything. You know, yes, George is going to get killed. You're not going to see any of that. It's not going to give you any type of things against kids, but you're going to get a whole lot of that piece of shit Tommy getting fucked up by our boy Derek in this one. And that alone is worth price of admission, people. Like, just fucking good. So yep, that's going to be it, people. Don't know what's coming next week. Have no clue. I'll figure something out over the next couple of days. But man, I enjoyed this one. It is definitely go check it out. Must watch. I tell people, you know, about any movie. I tell people to watch any movie. You know, don't base it off of what I say. I just like get on here talking shit about them. But had a good time with this one. Like I said, good revenge. But yeah, I appreciate you all hanging out. I appreciate you all, you know, taking an hour or so out of your day listening to me shoot the shit about a movie. Go check us out on the social media. Check out the website. Check out the Patreon. But until next time, family, this is that part of the show where I need us all to reach over and grab our drinks. Need you to put your chairs away. I need you to grab your shit. Hold on 1 second. Let's all take us a break. Gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Gather up your shit and get the fuck out of here.